Welcome to Bangla City SATV News. This is Nuri Alamin with the headlines. BNP to submit a memorandum to deputy commissioners demanding better treatment for Khaleda Zia. Police instructed to be vigilant. Former BNP MP Momin sentenced to death for war crime. Execution will be effective soon. Bangladesh is not included in US President Biden's Summit for Democracy. 110 countries will be joining on December 9 and 10. President Abdul Hamid today told in the parliament that political parties need to develop a culture of tolerance and mutual respect as well. He also said in order to implement Bangabandhu's vision of Sonar Bangla, we need unity among all irrespective of all religion and background. Abdul Hamid delivered the speech on the occasion of a special discussion in Parliament to mark the Golden Jubilee of the country's independence. He also said the country has become a role model in the world today in terms of the development due to the strong leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Party has issued memorandums to deputy commissioners across the country demanding release of BNP chairperson Begum Khaleda Zia and approved a medical treatment. As part of the central program, BNP has given a memorandum to the Dhaka Deputy Commissioner's office. Memorandum was handed over at 11:30 a.m. BNP Senior Joint Secretary General Ruhul Kabir Rizvi, Dhaka Divisional BNP Co-Organizing Secretary Abdul Salam, Dewan Salahuddin and other leaders of local BNP affiliates were present. Former BNP lawmaker from Bogura, Abdul Hamid Talukdar Elias Khoka has been sentenced to death for the atrocities he committed during 1971, the War of Independence. International Crime Tribunal 1, led by Justice Muhammad Shahinul Islam, gave him the gallows today. Prosecutor Sultan Mahmud said execution will be effective soon. Earlier on Monday, the three-member tribunal fixed today for delivering the verdict. On November 1st, the tribunal kept the verdict waiting about both of the prosecution and defense counsels completed their closing arguments in the case. In compliance with the tribunal's investigation agency, Momin was Rajakar commander of Adamgiri police station of Bogura and involved in genocide and killing at least 19 people. Contempt of court petition has been filed in High Court against 4 people, including Gazipur City Corporation Mayor Jahangir Alam, who was expelled from Awami League. The petition is on the agenda of the High Court bench of Justice Mamnun Rahman and Justice Khandakar Dilaruzzaman on yesterday. Meanwhile, a case has been filed against Gazipur Mayor Jahangir Alam at Rajbari in protest of his insulting remarks about the Bangabandhu and provocative statements about the Liberation War. RAB arrested Shumon on suspicion of the murder in Kumilla. He was arrested from Kumilla Medical College. Case has been filed against 21 people in this police station at night. Name of the 11 of them are mentioned in the case. So his younger brother Sayyid Rumon filed the case at a plaintiff. Earlier on yesterday afternoon, police recovered 3 firearms, 12 rounds at the ammunition and a mask used in the murder. They demanded speedy arrest and trial of the culprits. Terrorists shot to death the ward councillor Syed Mohammad Shohil and Awami League leader Haripada Shaha at their office on Monday afternoon. 4 people more who were shot in the incident are undergoing treatment at the hospital. The United States has not invited Bangladesh to President Joe Biden's Summit for Democracy, which is supposed to be joined by the 110 countries. The invitees include India, Pakistan and Nepal from the South Asian region, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, China, Turkey and Russia, who didn't make it to the list published by the White House. The virtual event is scheduled to be held on December 9 and 10 with the aim of helping stop democratic backsliding and the erosion of the rights and freedom worldwide. However, rights groups have been questioned whether the summit can push those world leaders who are invited, some accused of the harboring authoritarian tendencies, to make the meaningful action. Ferry services on the Pattaya-Doludia road resumed after more than 2 hours suspension to avert any possible mishap due to the dense fog today. Ferry movement resumed after 8:30 a.m. after the fog cleared. Hundreds of passengers have been suffered due to the service interruption. Meanwhile, manager of Bangladesh Inland Water Transport Cooperation said more than 700 vehicles, including bus and cargo trucks, were stranded in the Ghat area waiting for the ferry. The buses and private cars will be allowed to cross the ferry before the rest of the vehicles, so the passengers don't face any further inconvenience. Commuters in Mirpur in Dhaka have been suffering immensely as several hundred garments workers took the streets at Mirpur 13 area, halting traffic movement, demanding wage increment. The workers of some local garment factory came down at around 10 a.m., blocking one of the busiest roads in the capital. Police officials said due to the blocking, long tailback were created in the Mirpur and adjacent areas. Besides, traffic movement on the Dhaka-Chattogram highway remains suspended since today morning as the worker of the garment factory put barricade on the highway demanding payment of their dues. They were saying the protest for demand but the 2 months' salary that is due. The United States has provided another 1.8 million doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine to Bangladesh. Reports said the U.S. donated a total number of 16.8 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines to Bangladesh with the latest shipment. The vaccines will help Bangladesh government continue to administering COVID-19 jabs to young people at the age of 12 and up and reach its goal for the vaccinating 40% of the eligible population by the end of the 2020 term. The contribution of Pfizer vaccine is part of the broader commitment by the U.S. and led the global COVID-19 response by providing 1 billion doses of Pfizer vaccine around the world free of the charge through the 2022. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Stay with Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back, and you are watching Bangla City SATV News. Russia's defense minister yesterday accused US bombers of rehearsing a nuclear strike on Russia from 2 different directions earlier this month and complained that the planes had come within 20 kilometers of the Russian border. But the Pentagon said its drill were announced publicly at the time and adhere to the international protocols. Moscow's accusations comes from the time of high tension with Washington over the Ukraine, with US officials voicing concern about a possible Russian attack on its southern neighbor. President Vladimir Putin said a Western strategic bombers carrying a very serious weapons close to the Russia. The West was taking Moscow's warning not to cross its red lines too tightly. However, top Russian and the US military officers spoke by the telephone yesterday, but the neighbors' side disclosed the content of the conversation. The United States will resume talks within the Taliban next week in Qatar, addressing among other issues on the fight against terrorism and the humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. State Department for the spokesperson Ned Price said the American delegations will be led by the U.S. Special Representative for Afghanistan, Tom West, for the planned 2 weeks of the discussions as well. The two sides will discuss our vital national interest, which include the counter-terrorism operations against the Islamic State group and Al-Qaeda, humanitarian assistance, Afghanistan devastated economy, and the safe passage out of Afghanistan for U.S. citizens and Afghans who worked for the United States during the 20-year war. Samsung has chosen a site close to the city of the Taylor in the Texas for its new $17 billion computer chip plant amid a global shortage of the semiconductors. It is the South Korean elections of the biggest ever the US department. The plant is expected to create 2,000 technology industry jobs, with construction starting early for the next year. Kim Kim, the chief executive of the Samsung, said with a greater manufacturing capacity, they will be able to better serve the needs for their customers and contribute to the stability of the global semiconductor supply chain. The plant is expected to be operational by the second half of 2024. However, Samsung, like several of its rivals, is racing to expand chip making in the US to tackle supply chain issues. NASA is deliberately preparing a mission to wreck a spacecraft on asteroid for the round a test if the mankind ever had to stop a huge space rock from the wiping out life on the Earth. It may the second-like science of the fiction, but the double asteroid redirection test is a real proof of the concept test. The Pacific time on the SpaceX, the rocket flying from the Vandenberg yesterday at 10:21 p.m. and exploiting at the Space Force base on the California. Elon Musk company tested all systems and weather are looking good for tonight's Falcon 9 launch. The effect should take place on the autumn 2022 when the binary asteroid system 6.8 million miles from the Earth gets to the nearest point. Argentine superstar Lionel Messi has expressed his desire in the interview to return his favorite club, Barcelona. Messi said he would definitely return to the Nou Camp if he could help the club. Messi moved to the PSG on a free transfer after a contract with Barcelona expired last season. Despite joining other clubs, the 34 years of age old regularly looks for the favorite club. Bangladesh and Pakistan cricket team are now in Chittagong to play a two-match test series. The two teams will meet in the first test November 26. Match will be played at Zohar Ahmed Chaudhry Stadium in Chittagong. Meanwhile, BCB has announced a 16-member squad for Chittagong test. Saqib, Tamim, Taskin and Shariful are out of the squad due to the injuries. Joy and Raja will make their debut. After the 6 long years, the Tigers have a chance to play a series against Pakistan at home. Before ending, we'll go through the Euro-Bangla City SATV News headlines again. BNP to submit memorandum to deputy commissioners demanding better treatment for Khaleda Zia. Police instructed to be vigilant. Former BNP MP Momin sentenced to death for war crime. Execution will be effective soon. Bangladesh is not included in the US President Biden's Summit for Democracy. 110 countries will be joining on December 9 and 10. You are up to date with the Euro-Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.